Yes. Apples.
Raspberries. Just coming.
Are these ripe?
No.
The apples?
No. The end of September.
And then plums.
Or quince, perhaps.
What's this, Mahal? Plum ba to?
Oh, okay.
I don't know, I'm
Raspberries.
asking.
This is gooseberry. No, not gooseberry. Red currant, black currant.
This one, raspberry. That one,
Yeah, raspberries.
More puppies. They have tomatoes in the greenhouse.
2 greenhouses.
Oh, what's this?
What's what?
This.
I don't know.
Small apples?
No, it's some kind of fruit. I don't know.
Rose. Wait, walang parking dito, Mahal. Ano parking?
Yeah, this is the front gate.
Ang ganda ng mga flowers. What's this, Mahal?
This is a fuchsia.
This one.
I don't know.
Akala ko okra. Bulaklak lang. Look at the roses. Tomatoes. Ito, maganda.
Chives here.
Where?
These we could grow in the.
Yeah, we can. Yeah. Chives. Roses. Whoa. Roses.
Nice collection of apples.
Tomatoes. Oh, then.
Although I have seen the garden looking better.
Yeah, she's busy.
Yeah, she is with Anna. There's look 4 butterflies on this. Now these are honeybees, you see. Different from
Bumblebee.
bumblebees.
And more tomatoes.
Yeah.
Ganda.
Cherry tomatoes, those ones are.
And strawberry. Isla said they already.
These are onions or garlic. They're onions.
Isla said they already harvested from here.
They already have a what, sorry?
Harvested from here?
Yes, June
She
strawberry.
said, yeah.
Look, the onions look like-
Matigas pala to. Onions.
Oh, bunches of them.
Yeah.
Apples, obviously, but they're going to have a shed load of onions. Oh, apple, doggy poop. Have to be careful where you walk. It's the only drawback with having a dog. At least the cats bury their shit.
This one maganda. This one, hydrangea. She has lotus, Mahal.
Yeah.
Look. Lemons. Lotus. Boy.
Yeah. Those are tortoise.
And lavender. Sobrang bango. Peach. Peach ba yan, Mahal? A pear.
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 Defend it again.
Yeah, it's a very common thing. They did the same in France. They pulled down all the city walls around large cities, so you wouldn't dispute against the king.
Yeah.
This is the River Severn. When it floods, on that road there.
So this is the very big river we crossed, remember?
Really?
A massive one when we crossed into Wales.
It's long.
Yes.
So it flows
Round this way.
up to here. Swans! Swans yan ha? Oh.
Fantastic. We've chosen the best day of the lot, really. It's very rare for us to get a long period of nice sunshine and no rain, but saying that, we may have some thunderstorms later on, basically. So the tour we're doing today, because you've done quite a few now, I think you're ticking off the whole list eventually. By the time you get to 36, we'll have to invent some more for you. So I don't know if you're doing it one a year, because in which case you've got 34, 33 years to do yet. That would be 216 odd miles, basically, from the Welsh mountains down to the sea. But we are doing the section that fits into what is technically Old Worcester. So really that leaves from the site of 7th Street and the Diglis Hotel, and then it ends just on the racecourse and where the Sabrina Footbridge is. The reason why we end at the Sabrina Footbridge is because it's quite apt when we're talking about the River Severn, as you will find out when we get there. Now we could actually push that further because we've now got a new bridge, so technically we could extend. That would add quite a considerable amount of time on it, so we're not doing that at the moment, basically. We always start our tours from here. People often say, well, you couldn't talk about medieval Worcester from here, because that is definitely not a medieval building. However, there was a medieval building here, so technically we can. Some people say, well, you can't talk about the English Civil Wars, which Worcester played a major part in. Well, we can, because you've got Charles I there, Charles II there, and if you believe the stories, ignore this, what I'm about to say. By all accounts, that's Oliver Cromwell above the door. It's not, basically. Unfortunately, we know it's not, mainly because the architect Thomas White, if it was going to be someone as important as Oliver Cromwell, why is it in all his plans for this building, he never mentions it? But if you have a look above the windows, there are figures above the windows as well. And that's purely because when this Guildhall was built, which is actually the second Guildhall, it was built as a court. And what they say is the head above the door, the head above the windows are a mixture of criminals from Worcester and also good people of Worcester. So it's decorative. It's a lovely story though. Oh, that's Cromwell, he fought Charles II at the Battle of Worcester. There's no proof in it whatsoever.
Well, I've listened to a lot of people over the years.
Yeah, I always say the Guildhall is probably your greatest bit of fake news that Worcester ever had, basically. Because it looks quite real and regal, but weirdly in the Battle of Worcester, I've got to say it quietly, we swapped sides. Only because we knew we were going to win. So the simple rule is, if you know you're going to lose, swap sides, basically. That's the future. I will show you a picture of what it would have looked like in the medieval era. This is the Guildhall at Lavenham. So it would have looked like that. In the Middle Ages, that's what that building looked like. Personally, it's a choice. Would you rather have the wooden one or the brick one? I like that one personally. It's just that after the Battle of Worcester, the original one was in such a bad state of repair that they knocked it down, really. But like I said, it links to everything we're talking about. So people say, well, this has got nothing to do with the river. Yes, it has. Because the city in its charter was gifted a sword bearer. When you have a look around in the Guildhall, if you have a look around in there, there is a person that carries the city sword, the mayor's sword, the sword bearer, and there's a lovely portrait on the landing of him. And interestingly, as part of the charter, he had to set up the fish stalls down by the river for the sale of fish in the medieval period. So he had to go down there, put all the trestles out, put all the tabletops on, and then make sure that everyone turns up selling their fish. I know what it is. I made a specific task to go and have a look. So it's a privy emptying place. Yeah, a lot of people ask. Archaeology is not just digging in the ground. No. So I do a lot of archaeology. The last thing I did was the cathedral roundabout in the city, but I've done stuff outside as well. But the weird thing is, archaeology also consists of recording things. So you can go to a Victorian factory and you have to do that. Yeah. And that's exactly what he's doing. So he's recording the stone wall. When they repair the wall, because the wall is in quite a fragile state, the main reason for that is it's sandstone, it's local sandstone. Local sandstone is giving the cathedral stonemasons a job for life because it is rubbish, basically. When they replace the stone, which is an ongoing project, they have to replace it like for like. So what you've got here is a mixture of red and green sandstone. So when they replace, when a piece of red sandstone of a certain shape or size is bad, they take that out and replace it like for like. We've got the stonemasons all turning up now, look. So they just replace it like for like. So the archaeologists worked down here when they were building the Keys building, which is the big sports centre for the school here. And when it was being built, they did borehole reading, so they took samples of soil from right down, deep down. The samples that were coming up, they put them in flotation tanks, and therefore anything light goes to the surface, which includes, amazingly, pollen and seeds, and everything that floated to the surface were aquatic plants, aquatic pollen, and also tiny little water snails and things like that was coming out that were about hundreds of years old, and they were all being found here. So we definitely know the exact alignment for the moat. So we're literally walking on it just to here. And there's the dig list with the trees at the bottom. The painter, the landscape artist leader as well. But it is now a hotel with beautiful river views. So in a way, originally, originally
taking the goods back into Brittany.
They can go
or
anywhere in
Normandy?
the empire. Because I like the fanciful story that iron that was being produced here, that was being turned into armour and weaponry, could end up in Pompeii, it could end up in Rome itself, anywhere in the empire. Really, it's it's a fantastical story.
The junction, as if you come up from the bus and going over to go onto City Walls Road, there's the crossroads there, and it's simply got a one.
It's really lovely, this.
Got the weapon.
This is obviously pudding.
Got it.
The only thing it's going to get hit by is very waterlogged logs, and those waterlogged logs isn't really going to impact on it whatsoever. They're not deep enough for a lot of stuff to get lodged. So the river, because we're on the bend as well, there's fast to flow on the bend, so no real damage really. The coolest place in Worcester, I always say, if you want to bring a deck chair, if you can't stand it here, stick it under here, you're fine. This is Watergate. What you will notice on this picture is there is no walkway, there's no promenade, there's no Cleeve Walk as it's called. It doesn't exist. The river literally went up to the stone. So as you can imagine, this was full of water most of the time. This is like Traitor's Gate in the Tower of London. So as the name suggests, Watergate, it's meant to have water in it, really. I always say to people, the best time to see this is when the river's in flood, because then you've got water in here. That's what you're meant to have. The reason why it was set back, because people often say, well, why wasn't it over there in line with the ward, is it's designed to be a secret gate. So the city of Worcester had a wall around it, has gates to allow people in and out. if the city comes under attack, it's going to be from the landward side. So it's going to be from the east, from the north, from the south. You won't really get an attack from the west. So your gates are very vulnerable. You could very easily be cut off in Worcester. It can be surrounded, and then wagons of food and supplies won't be able to get in. So this gate was set back from the wall. So if you can imagine late at night, we could arrange a delivery of stores, a delivery of supplies to Worcester. It could go upriver or downstream, and then it can literally come in here. Now, if you're enemy on the west bank, at night, you might not see it, which is why it's set back. So it's not meant to be a well-known entry point into the city. There would have been a gate on it as well, like Traitors Gate in London, so it could have been closed off if need be in times of war. But its main use was monks, Benedictine monks, like any type of monk, was very good at farming, very agriculturally minded. Even now, the land over the other side is still owned by the church. Part of it's now the King's School playing fields, but that's also known as Chapter Meadows, and that would have been not a nature reserve or football and rugby and cricket pitches as it is today. That would have been just for growing crops. And then what would happen is, at harvest time, so you're not bringing loads and loads of wagons, heavy wagons on what would have been really poor roads. And the problem with roads in the summer is because you've had wagons going in there in the winter, it's very rutted. And as we all know, when you get good weather, that's you're breaking ankles walking on that stuff because it's so heavily rutted, you're tripping over, wagons are getting stuck. So the easiest thing to do, you line all your barges up on the west bank, load it with all the grain and all the cargo, all the goods that you've been growing, and you bring them over here. The gates are open, you bring the boats in, and you unload directly into the cellars of the monastery. Perfect, absolutely perfect. It's, there's nowadays you're looking at a bit of an odd place. If you go back to when it was working, it puts it all into context. It's like, oh yeah, I can see how that would work really. So it's quite an important gate really. The ferryman's cottage, which is still called the ferryman's cottage, was added in later in the 19th century. Unfortunately, the ferryman now doesn't live there.